How's it going?
Oh, I'm surviving. There you go. You have a good day.
You as well. What's up, Alpha Gang? It's Mike from AlphaGenPerformance once again. This is actually going to be another stuffed turbo video, but it is not regarding my old stuffed turbo that I've been running for a little over a year now. It's actually a new upgrade from Turbo Parts Canada. So what happened here, the story is, I reached out to them because I heard a rumor that they had a new upgrade from their last stuffed turbo. And they said, yes, actually that's true. And then they asked if I was interested in possibly testing the unit as well. So of course, me going between possibly tearing out the engine for next month and getting that all ready for the bigger setup to come, I was like, yeah, if we can get this done in like within the next 2-3 weeks, then yeah, let's do it. I'll purchase a turbo and we'll see how she does. So the difference, of course, you're probably all curious of like, well, what's the difference from your other unit, which I absolutely love, which was also from Turbo Parts Canada. This one, the turbine wheel and compressor wheel is roughly about 2 to 3 millimeters bigger. So we're going to be making more power. It's more equivalent to like a 20G. So we're going to put that on. I'll probably install it coming up here. I'll actually be dropping it off at XS Company. They'll be doing the install because I've already done it before, and to be honest with you, I just don't have time next week to do it myself with everything going on during the week. So we're going to install it probably on the Monday, and then right after that, after I pick it up from them, I'll probably just take it for maybe a couple laps just on a nearby freeway, just to kind of get things broken in properly as well too. And then we're probably going to dyno tune it on the Thursday, where I can take you along for that as well, and we can see what kind of numbers we make from our previous 333 wheel horsepower on the old unit. So I'm very excited. What do I expect for gains? Honestly, I'd be even happy with like another 20 wheel horsepower from this, just from the small increase that we have there. But I have the box partially open here, so let's go see what's inside. I've done the honors of cutting it open, and there is a lot of packaging, which I will probably save for when I have to return my core, just to get some of the money back on that as well. So let's rip some of this out. Oh nice, they provide me some swag as well. Cool new Turbo Parts Canada hat. Nice. And it looks like, I think it's a t-shirt inside. I'm gonna have to pull that out and probably wear that for later in the video. And this is what everybody wants to see. Oh, and it comes with a manifold as well too. I did not expect that. Okay, hold on, let me pull this out so I can get a better, give you guys a better look here. So here she is. It's a nice looking unit. This looks really good. Yeah, so the turbine wheel and the compressor wheel has increased. So that's where we're gonna basically gain a lot more of the horsepower and torque. But I was surprised, as I mentioned before, that it came with the manifold as well. So everything's already bolted up. Because with my last setup, this looks so clean. With my last setup, basically I had to take everything off the manifold. And it was just like the turbo that I had to take off and whatnot, and just unbolt my intake from here if you watched the previous video. But with this all together, it saves me the hassle of having to do that. So it's actually going to be probably an easier install for XS Company once they move some of the stuff out of the way for the install. But I will place the actual description of this turbo just somewhere probably in this area with the turbine size and compressor wheel size and such as well too, just if you want those little extra details. But yeah, this is a nice looking unit. Yeah, this is gonna look really good and sound really good. Yeah, this looks great. I'll show you the back side as well. Let me just spin this around. Yeah, you can see back there as well. Wastegate flap. Yeah, this is a beauty of a unit. I'm really excited to test this out. Everything looks so clean. I'll have to see if it needs a new turbo manifold gasket. I don't know if I can reuse my old one, so I might need to get a new one for that. But yeah, this is This is more than what I expected. I'm already really excited. Even though I already have a stuffed turbo unit, I can't wait to see what kind of numbers we make on this. I'll probably end up changing the fuel up a little bit as well too. I was running on my last, I'll just sit on the stairs here for a bit. I was running a 94 octane from Petrogas here in Canada, or Petro-Canada. So I'm actually going to try. I heard Shell 93 is a lot more consistent and possibly a better fuel, so I will probably end up going through a lot of my 94 Petro-Canada stuff and get it to near empty, and then I'll just top it up with 93 for Shell 93, I guess, and run that for the dyno and see if that makes any difference. But for the most part, I kept all the variables the same. There was an option with this manifold when they shipped it for an external wastegate as well. I said no to that. I know I'll be getting an external wastegate on my next setup that I end up doing, but I wanted for you guys to keep all the variables the same in terms of a comparison from the other stuff turbo that also is just using the stock electronic wastegate and this turbo. So it's basically just the difference in size. So that way everything stays the same and we can see what kind of gains and the difference we make from the previous setup. So that's what I'm excited to see. And I know the butt dyno is going to definitely say that it's going to be a lot faster, but down on paper and on the dyno, I actually want to see how much more we make. So I'm excited. I mean, anything really for me, anything over 1520 I'll be happy with, because I know I'll feel it. And the nice thing about it too is that I haven't upgraded anything with the fuel system as well. So this type of system, the stuff turbo upgrade, is like such an easy upgrade if you want to keep things simple and you don't want the complications of, you know, getting an aftermarket ECU or a boost controller, different manifolds or top mount manifolds, external wastegates, all the plumbing for possibly like an aftermarket intercooler for your top mount setup. There's just a lot more involved when you go with like a big turbo setup. Whereas this one, it's just so simple. It's basically just like a bolt in, bolt out your stock setup and then retune, and that's all it is. So if you want to make some good power, this is definitely an option I always recommend. Even if you've blown your stock turbo, say it's got a lot of mileage on it or whatever, and you're looking for a replacement, I always would mention getting a stuffed turbo, making sure the rest of the maintenance is good and up to date, and everything is healthy with your car, and then just get a stuffed turbo upgrade, honestly, and just test it. Stock fuel system will handle it. Yeah, it's great. So from here, we'll probably end up heading to XS Company here in just a couple days, and we will start with the install. So we will see you soon. Good morning. It is Monday. I got everything loaded up, as you can see here. Turbo setups in there. A little tired this morning. It's been a busy weekend. I did our annual AlphaGen photo shoot yesterday, which was pretty cool. So looking forward to getting those pictures back from Who's Flash Media, which, as you guys know from previous videos or following along for a while, he's kind of like my go-to photo video guy. But yeah, we're just gonna head over to XS Company right now. They're gonna take care of this install for you, and let's get on the road. I drained my gas the last couple days just heading to work. Get rid of the Petro 94 that I currently have in the car. I'm gonna fill up with 93 from Shell and see if that makes a difference on the dyno. Maybe you'll get us better numbers, who knows, but we'll see how it goes. So we'll head over to the gas station, then to XS, and go from there. All right, see you soon. So the wifey just dropped me off. It's pretty bright out here. But yeah, the car's all done. I got the turb ski inside. So we're just gonna go inside, get the keys, and we should be good. Okay, so just picked up the car. Just sitting in idle and everything looks good. Yeah, we're basically ready for dyno day. My fuel is pretty full with Shell 93, like I mentioned before. I'm just going to drive it around a little bit, break in this turbo before we start running it really hard on its first session on Thursday. So we'll see that. I guess the only issue that I noticed if you end up getting this unit compared to, say, the old unit, I think installing just the turbo itself, if you had, say, my previous stuff turbo, would be easier just replacing the turbo without taking the whole manifold off. Because I guess with this new unit, because they had to CNC machine a bit of the manifold, like from Turbo Parts Canada, to allow the new turbine wheel or compressor wheel to fit into the manifold, because it's larger, as I mentioned earlier in the video. So you have to replace the whole manifold. But I did find out the only complication with that is it was easy to cut. Well, I shouldn't say it was easy. It was able to come out, but putting it back in to torque the bolts properly, the access was a little bit tough at like one of the points, I guess. So they ended up removing the power steering pump just to get access to that, to torque it properly, just so there would be potentially no exhaust leaks, which I like about XS Company, because they're into all the finer details, and they're picky about that stuff, just kind of as I am with things as well when I install them or when I get places to install stuff. So I do like that attention to detail, which is why I trust them with everything that I do, and which is why I also send them to get a bunch of work done for this car when I don't have time myself to do it. So that was really, really great. So I have my old turbo in here. I'll be shipping that back off just to get my core deposit back. But yeah, we'll see you in a couple days at the dyno, and we'll hopefully get some pretty nice numbers. So see you then. Alright guys, just got to Macari, so let's head inside and get this dyno started, kind of what everybody's been waiting for. So let's go inside and start getting her done. Alright, so we're just setting up the dyno right now. I got a base map already loaded onto the car from AlphaSpeed, so we'll do our first pull, log some data, and then I'll try to get some footage of some pulls after that. So we just did the pull on the base tune, and then we got our first file back and did that first pull. Numbers are actually really good. Everything looks really good on the graph. We're at like 327 wheel horsepower right now with the first pull. Daryl from AlphaSpeed actually just sent me the second one back. He said everything looks really healthy, so we're gonna see what the increase is on this next pull. But already things are looking good. I'm pretty much already at my old number, just shy of it, so we'll see how much further we go. And we're still at 21 pounds right now to do a direct comparison, and we'll see if we can turn it up afterwards. Big changes on this pull. This is our second pull. I kind of hit what I wanted to hit for dyno numbers, so for people that were guessing 350-ish. The second pull, we're already at 353, and we're already kind of like shooting for that 20 to 21 PSI was what we were kind of looking for. But yeah, 353 wheel horsepower right now, and we still have room to grow, so I'm already pretty happy. So kind of like last time I did the stuffed dyno pull, I want to see where this goes and fully send it. I have Kenji, of course, with me as always, operating the dyno. He's also over at Alberta Race Engines too, so shout out to those guys. But yeah, let's keep sending it. So I'm gonna send out the logs from my laptop here, and yeah, and then we'll get going. Trading another file. I think this is like our fourth or fifth pull. Right now we actually beat the last update, which was like 352 I said in the last little clip. We're at 363 wheel horsepower, so I've already hit my goal that I wanted to, and we noticed a couple limitations that will help me get, or prevent me from getting more power than we are. But I'll mention that after we're finished fine-tuning all the little details here. So I'm pretty stoked already, so we'll see you guys soon. So that's a wrap on the tune. I'm really happy with the turnout, more than what I expected. So I'm just gonna head home, park the car in the garage, and then we'll sit down and we'll talk about the numbers, some of the things that I could do to actually gain higher horsepower numbers on this unit as well, and just the overall review on the turbo. So yeah, we'll see you guys in a little bit. Hey guys, so very happy with today. I just got home. The traffic was a little bit heavier, so I wasn't able to do as many pulls as I wanted to. But even to the mid-range, like the torque that I felt was a lot better, just because the gain that I did get. Same with the horsepower as well. I did a couple pulls over, 100, 110, and I could just see the speedometer, just the climb was so smooth, all the way to red line as well too. It was great. I mean, we did pretty good with this setup. I was limited by a couple factors as well. So in the last video, we did still keep the 363 wheel horsepower. That was kind of like the most that we made. We ended up just kind of fixing a couple torque dips in the curve, and just fine-tuning those details. That was pretty much the last couple pulls, so I didn't show any of that. But I am super happy with the setup. The parts that were limiting, that I could have made more power, was a lot of it was the external wastegate actually. If I got the external wastegate option and a boost controller as well, and we were able to get, like, say 26 to 27 pounds of boost out of this setup. My tuner, of course, through AlphaSpeed, he mentioned that we could probably see 400 plus, which would have been amazing for a stock frame unit, which is why I'm so impressed with this setup and how simple it is. Even adding water meth injection would have made more, which I didn't have on this setup. I try to keep everything the same, as I mentioned multiple times in this video, keeping the variables the same. The tune, of course, we're roughly peaking at about like 21, 22 pounds of boost. So very similar to my last tune as well, which was also sitting around that 21 pounds. But that's the biggest thing. I mean, for the price point and how simple this was, I would highly recommend it. And just going straight for this unit as well too. If you went with the older unit that I did have, you could do, I just kind of summarized what I mentioned earlier in the video. You can just do a straight turbo swap without actually pulling the manifold. But with this newer unit, because they had to CNC machine the turbine wheel to get into the exhaust manifold, you would have to get the whole unit, which of course adds a little bit more of the price to that as well, with the whole unit there. I don't have any of that price point or packages there yet, because this is just basically kind of a newer product that they're putting out. But you'll definitely hear more from me, or stay tuned, of course, on the AlphaGenPerformance Instagram page or Facebook as well, because I'll definitely be mentioning that as soon as I get more details on that. But yeah, it was a great unit. I would highly recommend it. Very straightforward. And I can't wait to push it more, even next year, because as you know, kind of a teaser for what's to come with winter season approaching us here in Western Canada. The car will be going away into storage here shortly, but I'll actually be sending it back to XS Company, because they're going to be pulling the engine, and then it's going to be heading over to Alberta Race Engines, and they're actually going to be doing a pretty big engine build, big bottom end build, with pistons, rods, also doing dart mid sleeves, doing some GSC S1 cams, yeah, just beefing it up, and then we'll probably also throw on the water meth injection kit at that point, and then retune. So regardless, this setup is not done yet, so it'll still make a lot more power again next year. At the beginning of the season, I also estimate we'll probably be close to that 400 anyways, before we push the envelope even further with this project on Veronica and get, you know, closer to 450, 500 in the end. So we're getting there. But as for the Turbo Parts Canada Turbo, I highly recommend it. It's amazing. I've been really happy with it. I wanted to push it so much more. So who knows, maybe before the end of the year I can bring it to the track and we can go from there. But that's all I got for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, feel free to comment them down below, or drop me a DM, of course, on Instagram as well too. But until then, thanks again to XS Company for the install. Thanks to Turbo Parts Canada for putting together an awesome product. Thanks also to Kenji for operating the Dyno at Mercari Auto, and also for Daryl at AlphaSpeed for taking care of the tune for me today. It was great. So until next time, we'll see you later.